family favorite dish. It's known as shepherd's pie, and I didn't even know that. My mother would make it all the time, and I just thought it was this delicious meatloafy casserole topped with mashed potatoes, except we are on a keto diet, so we don't use mashed potatoes. We're going to use mashed cauliflower, of course. So, you know, probably a lot of you know how to do this. It's just that this is a recipe that I'm going to video and put on my website, so you can watch if you want. It's all good fun. All right? I have all the ingredients here, and of course that involves ground beef, some onions, and cauliflower for the mashed cauliflower. And what's going to go in the ground beef are the seasonings: salt and pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, my 21 seasoning salute that's from Trader Joe's, and some ketchup. I would normally just make barbecue sauce and put it in there, but I'm kind of in a hurry because my friend's coming over for dinner and I wanted to make this up for her, so I'm not going to go through all the trouble of doing that. But ketchup is good enough. It's sugar-free, of course, and I'm going to get started with the hamburger, preparing that. So I've put the ground beef in a mixing bowl. I am just going to add the onions to the ground beef, and I will have the measurements on the website. Those onions was about a half a cup for 1 pound of ground beef, and I'm going to mix that in with the beef. I'm going to add the ketchup. When I make meatloaf, I put an egg in here. I'm not going to do that for this recipe. And I'm mashing it with my hands, my clean hands, because it's just easier than using a spoon. I get it all mushed in that way. I use that word mushed a lot. I wonder if it's probably not even a word. Who cares? Alright, now I'm going to add the seasoning, but I have to wash my hands. Alright, hands washed. And now I'm going to add a pinch of each, except for the garlic powder, because I always add more than a pinch of garlic powder. So in with a pinch of the 21 seasoning salute, a pinch of onion powder. This isn't going to sprinkle out because the lid came off, so the pepper's just going to have to go in by hand. All right. And thank you for barking, Nikki. Wouldn't be a cooking video without my dog barking. A pinch of salt, and a little bit more than a pinch of garlic powder. Oh, yes. This is about a teaspoon or more. I don't know. Okay, and now I'm going to mush that with my hands again. All these good flavors. Going right in there. All right, let's get the cauliflower cooked. I've got it in my steamer because that's the way I like to cook cauliflower. So we'll let that magically cook. Hey, you know something? I was going to make the ordinary shepherd pie that everybody makes, but you know me and my experiments. The thing with the meat is people could put celery in here and peas, any kind of vegetable they really want to put in here. And I went in my refrigerator to look for a side dish to serve, and I had some leftover cabbage, and I thought, well, that would be interesting if that went in the meat mixture. So it can't taste bad, right? All right, you know me and my measurements. So I measured a handful of cabbage leaves. I want really, really small pieces. I locked my dog out. Can you open the door? Come on, you can do it. I'm busy filming this cooking video. There, good girl. I better measure this. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a half a cup and see if that's enough or if I want to put more in this mixture. Here I go getting my hands dirty again. I think a half a cup is enough for this pound of ground beef. Now if you don't like cabbage, I'm not a huge fan of cabbage. I just like the crunchiness in the salad, and I like it in some things. So in here, I think it'll give it a nice little flavor. That's called a pinch more. I went in my refrigerator for something else, and guess what I found? I'm going to keep adding to this. I like having things to be my recipe. You know, I have this mixture that I got at grocery outlet. You can mix your own, and I was doing that. It's chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds, and they're all mixed together. I put that in every single salad I ever make, but you know what? They're so good in high fiber, high fat, very good for our meals. I'm going to add just a little bit to the ground beef mix. I mean, it can't taste bad. So that's probably a tablespoon. So say 1 tablespoon of the mixture, and you don't have to add these. If you don't have them, obviously you're not going to add them and you make this recipe without it. I keep getting my hands dirty. Gosh. Now I think this is going to be a great tasting meat part for this shepherd's pie. I was almost tempted. I went in my refrigerator again. I was almost tempted to add Parmesan cheese in the meat mixture. I wonder what that would taste like. Okay, I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to ruin it. Maybe next time I'll try that. I think I will. But for now, I'll leave this alone, and I will stay away from the refrigerator. You know, I really should have called this series, this video series, Keto Experiments with Cyndi. That's what I should have called it. Okay, this is done. Tested that. Oh, Nikki, you're driving me bananas tonight. Must be, I don't know what's going on in the neighborhood. These kids are playing. All right, so I'm just going to dump this cauliflower in my food processor. So some of you do it in your blender. Doesn't matter what you do it in. I'm adding 1/4 cup of my cream. There we go. And 2 tablespoons of butter. And a pinch or more of salt. Sometimes I add a little bit more after I do the taste test on this thing. Let's go. I'm adding another tablespoon of butter and a little more salt. Well, that's good and mashed, so I'll leave that be. And now for the layering of the shepherd's pie. We'll get it in the oven, 350 it's been preheating at, and it's going to bake for 20-25 minutes, around there. Here we go. So I've got the meat mixture that I'm putting in. I have a small little glass baking dish because I'm just serving up dinner for me and a friend. And I'm putting that on the bottom, spreading that out in the dish. A pound is good for, you know, it's not good for a really big family. You probably need to make more and have a bigger dish. You know, one of the things that I do with meatloaf is I top it with barbecue sauce. And if I don't have that, I top it with ketchup and then the cheese sauce. So I'm kind of thinking of putting a layer of ketchup and then the cauli rice. I'm doing that. Getting very inventive, aren't I? It's just that it looks like a meatloaf. And this is what I do with meatloaf. And by the way, I've never made shepherd's pie before. Ever. This was something my mother made. I have never made it. So this is my very first time. Okay, so I spread the ketchup on the top, and then I'm going to put the cauli rice that's in this food processor right on top. I'll be spreading that out. I looked at a lot of recipes, and sometimes the potatoes were like, it was that thick of a layer, but it was my intention not to make that much thickness for my top layer of mashed cauliflower. And there, see, isn't that nice? So it's kind of a thin little layer of the mashed cauliflower, but that's okay with me. And the final step is just to sprinkle it with some shredded cheese. This is shredded Colby and, what is this? Colby and cheddar. Monterey Jack, Colby, and cheddar cheeses. That's this mixture of shredded cheese. And it's organic, and it doesn't have the junk in it, the potato starch that you know, because I have to shred a lot of my own cheeses. You know, it's hard to find, but this Simple Truth brand on the organic doesn't have the bad stuff in it. All right, so now that has the topping. Oh, get the glare out. Beautiful, huh? All right, I'm going to put that in the oven. It's out of the oven. Look at that. All right, so we let that cool. Okay, my friend is here. There she is. And here is your dinner. Debbie and I get together every Friday night, and she's my best taste tester. So Debbie, shepherd's pie. Remember I said I was going to make it for you?
Wow. It's dope.
It's dope. Hey, cool. I like that. Okay, I'm sitting down to join her. There's mine.
I'm here to tell you I'm going to want seconds.
This is another experiment, Cyndi experiment. She likes it.
Two thumbs up.
Okay.
Eat up.